The blood spreads slow on concrete, dark red, almost black in the afternoon light. It starts as a small pool beneath Mayme Johnson's dress, then creeps outward like it's searching for something, down the sidewalk, into the cracks, toward the gutter where yesterday's rain still hasn't dried. 4 concrete steps, that's all it takes. Mayme's right hand is pressed against her belly, 7 months pregnant. Her other hand is braced against the bottom step, keeping her head off the ground. She's not screaming. She's not moving. She's just breathing, short, quick breaths through her teeth. Above her, at the top of the steps, Vincent Esposito stands frozen. 3 seconds. That's how long he stands there before his brain catches up to what his hands just did. Then he walks away. Not runs. Walks. Hands in his pockets. Head down, like he's just a guy walking down Lenox Avenue on a Friday afternoon. Like he didn't just push a pregnant woman down 4 concrete steps in front of a grocery store with 6 people inside. Mr. Chen is the first one out the door. He's 63 years old, been running Chen's Grocery on Lenox Avenue for 18 years, 14-hour days, 6 days a week. He doesn't run anymore. His knees are bad, his back is worse. But he runs now. He drops to his knees next to Mayme. His hands hover over her, not touching, not sure where to touch. Mayme, can you hear me? Mayme nods, barely. Her eyes are closed. I'm calling ambulance. Don't move. Please don't move. Chen stands, runs back inside, picks up the phone with shaking hands, dials. The operator answers. Emergency services? Ambulance. Pregnant woman fell. Lenox Avenue. Chen's Grocery. She's bleeding. What's the address? Chen gives it. The operator says the ambulance is on its way. Chen hangs up. He knows how long it takes for an ambulance to come to Harlem for a black woman. He goes back outside. Mayme hasn't moved. It takes 32 minutes for the ambulance to arrive. Mr. Chen kneels beside Mayme the whole time. He takes off his shopkeeper's apron, folds it, puts it under her head. She doesn't speak, doesn't open her eyes, just breathes and keeps her hand pressed against her belly. A crowd gathers, 8 people, 10. They stand in a semicircle on the sidewalk, not talking, just watching, waiting. One woman, Mrs. Patterson from 2 blocks over, kneels on Mayme's other side. She's had 6 children. She knows what this looks like. She doesn't say anything, just takes Mayme's free hand and holds it. At 3:09 p.m., 32 minutes after Chen called, the ambulance turns onto Lenox Avenue. No siren, no rush. It parks. 2 white paramedics get out. They take their time getting the stretcher from the back. They walk over, look down at Mayme. What happened? Chen answers. She fell. Down the steps. She's pregnant. One paramedic kneels, checks Mayme's pulse, her blood pressure. He's professional, detached. How far along? 7 months, Mrs. Patterson answers. 28 weeks. The paramedic glances at his partner. Some communication passes between them, something that makes Chen's stomach drop. They get Mayme onto the stretcher, lift her into the ambulance. Chen tries to climb in after her. Family only. Family only. The doors close. The ambulance pulls away. Still no siren. Chen stands on the sidewalk. Mayme's blood is still there, a dark stain on the concrete, right where she fell. He goes inside, picks up the phone, makes another call. Small's Paradise. I need to speak to Illinois Gordon. Harlem Hospital, 3rd floor, maternity ward. Mayme is in a curtained bay in the emergency area. 2 nurses, 1 doctor. Dr. Robert Freeman. He's black. One of 12 black doctors in New York. He works 18-hour shifts because there aren't enough doctors who'll treat black patients. He's examining Mayme when Bumpy Johnson arrives. Bumpy doesn't check in at the desk, doesn't ask for directions. He just walks through the ward like he knows exactly where he's going. Because someone told him. Because Illinois Gordon is already here, waiting in the hallway outside Mayme's bay. Illinois sees Bumpy coming down the hall. Boss? Bumpy walks past him, pulls back the curtain. Dr. Freeman looks up. The nurses step back. Bumpy crosses to the bed, looks down at Mayme. She's awake, staring at the ceiling, tears running down her face in silence. He takes her hand. She turns her head to look at him. They can't find a heartbeat. Bumpy's face doesn't change. Dr. Freeman speaks. His voice is quiet, professional. Mr. Johnson, your wife experienced significant trauma from the fall. The placenta has separated from the uterine wall. We need to deliver the baby, but there's no fetal heartbeat. I'm very sorry. How long? For the delivery? 3 to 4 hours. It's safer to let labor progress naturally than to... How long has the baby been dead? Dr. Freeman pauses. Based on the injury pattern, probably since shortly after the fall. Maybe 30 minutes after? Maybe less. Bumpy nods once. He looks at Dr. Freeman. She gets her own room, private. Best you have. Mr. Johnson, the maternity ward doesn't have... Bumpy takes out his wallet, counts out $500, sets it on the table next to the medical instruments. She gets her own room. Dr. Freeman looks at the money, then at Mayme, then at Bumpy. Room 314, third door on the left. I'll have her moved immediately. They move Mayme at 4:47 p.m. Room 314 is small. 1 bed, 1 window, a chair, a bassinet in the corner, empty and waiting. Bumpy sits in the chair next to the bed, holding Mayme's hand. The contractions start at 5:15 p.m. Dr. Freeman checks her every 30 minutes. Labor is progressing, slow but progressing. At 7:30 p.m., Illinois Gordon appears in the doorway, doesn't enter, just stands there until Bumpy looks at him. Bumpy stands, walks to the hallway. Illinois hands him a folder. His name is Vincent Esposito, 28, works for his Uncle Marco, Genovese family, collects protection money from 10 businesses in Lower Harlem. Where is he now? We don't know. He went home after his apartment on Mulberry Street, but he's not there now. Probably realized what he did. Find him. Already on it. Willie's watching his apartment. Marcus is talking to people in Little Italy. We'll know where he is by midnight. Bumpy looks back at room 314. What do you want us to do when we find him? Illinois asks. Nothing. Not yet. I want to be there. Illinois nods. How's Mayme? She's in labor. Illinois' face doesn't change, but something in his eyes does. I'm sorry, boss. Bumpy doesn't respond. He goes back into room 314. At 8:47 p.m., Mayme delivers. Dr. Freeman catches the baby. A boy, fully formed, 28 weeks, perfect, not breathing. Dr. Freeman cuts the cord, wraps the baby in a white blanket, places him in Mayme's arms. She looks down at him, touches his face, his hands, his perfect tiny hands. William Marcus, she whispers. That's your name, William Marcus Johnson. She holds him for 20 minutes. Then Dr. Freeman takes him, places him in the bassinet, covers him with the blanket. Mayme turns her face to the wall. Bumpy stands, walks to the bassinet, looks down at his son, William Marcus Johnson. Born March 14th, 1952, 8:47 p.m. Died March 14th, 1952, approximately 3:30 p.m. Bumpy stands there for 5 minutes, not moving, not speaking. Finally, he reaches down, touches his son's hand with one finger. Cold. He turns to Mayme. What do you want me to do? She doesn't look at him, still facing the wall. I don't want him dead. Okay. I want him broken. I want him to need someone to feed him, dress him, wipe him. I want him to be what he killed, helpless, dependent, suffering. Okay. Can you do that? Yes, I promise. Now she turns to look at him. Her eyes are dry. No more tears, just something cold and hard and final. Make him suffer. By midnight, they know everything. Vincent Esposito, 28 years old, lives with his parents, Tony and Maria Esposito, at 247 Mulberry Street, second-floor apartment. Never lived anywhere else. Works for his uncle Marco Esposito, Genovese capo. Runs protection, gambling, loan sharking. Vinny's territory, 3 blocks in Lower Harlem, 10 businesses, $50 a week from each. Small time. A test. The family business. Bella Notte Restaurant. Tony's Place, 20 years. Esposito Trucking, 12 trucks, run by Vinny's older brother, Sal. Various gambling operations. Marco's. Worth maybe $200,000 total. Vinny's routine: collects Friday afternoons, drinks at Gianni's bar Friday nights, Sunday dinner at Marco's house in Queens. Predictable. Current location: unknown. Illinois, Willie Lee, Marcus Cole, and Quick Jackson are in Bumpy's office on 132nd Street. Back room, door closed. Bumpy spreads the information across the table. We have 48 hours. After that, the Genovese family figures out what's happening and moves to stop us, so we move fast. What's the play? Willie asks. We take everything. The businesses, the money, the reputation, and we take Vinny. Kill him? No. Mayme wants him alive. She wants him broken. Marcus speaks. He's the quietest of Bumpy's men, the most precise. You want him paralyzed. Yes. How paralyzed? Completely. Neck down. Can't move, can't feed himself, can't do anything. A baby. Marcus is quiet for a moment. That's possible, but it's surgical. You have to break the spine at the exact right place, C1 vertebra, where the spine meets the skull. Break it clean, you sever the spinal cord. He's paralyzed. But you don't damage the brainstem. That would kill him. Can you do it? I've done it once. Korean War. Chinese prisoner. Officer wanted him alive for questioning, but immobile. I used a rifle butt. It worked. Will you do it? Marcus looks at Bumpy. What did he do to Mayme? He pushed her down concrete stairs. She was 7 months pregnant. She lost the baby. Marcus nods. I'll do it. Vinny is at his Uncle Marco's house in Queens. Marco called him after he heard what happened. Told him to come immediately. Bring nothing. Tell no one. Vinny arrived at 11 p.m. Scared, shaken. Marco didn't yell, didn't hit him. Just looked at him across the kitchen table. Tell me exactly what happened. Vinny told him. The grocery store, the pregnant woman, the push, the fall, the blood. Did you know who she was? No, just some colored... Marco held up his hand. Don't say that word. Not to me, not ever again. Uncle Marco, do you know who that woman is? No. Mayme Johnson, wife of Ellsworth Bumpy Johnson. Vinny's face went white. You pushed Bumpy Johnson's pregnant wife downstairs. She lost the baby. Vinny couldn't speak. You know what's going to happen now? Bumpy Johnson is going to destroy us. Not kill us, destroy us. Our businesses, our money, our reputation. And then he's going to come for you. You can protect me. You're a capo. You have men. I can't protect you from Bumpy Johnson in Harlem. Nobody can. And even if I could, I wouldn't. You violated the rules. You hurt a civilian, a pregnant woman. You brought shame to this family. What do I do? Marco stood. You pray that when he comes for you, he makes it quick. But he won't, because you killed his son. Now, at 2 a.m., Vinny is in Marco's guest bedroom. 6 bodyguards in the house, all armed. Vinny hasn't slept, just sitting on the bed, staring at the wall. At 2:17 a.m., the lights go out. The bodyguards react immediately. Flashlights, guns drawn, checking windows, doors. At 2:18 a.m., the windows shatter. All of them, simultaneously. Canisters come through. Tear gas. The bodyguards last maybe 40 seconds. They're not wearing masks. They're trying to reach the doors, the stairs, anything. They don't make it. By 2:20 a.m., the house is silent except for coughing. At 2:22 a.m., Bumpy's men enter. 4 of them, wearing gas masks, moving room to room. They find Vinny in the guest bedroom. He's on the floor, trying to crawl toward the window, crying, coughing. Marcus Cole pulls him to his feet. Vincent Esposito? Vinny nods. You comin' with us. They bring Vinny to a warehouse in Red Hook, Brooklyn. Abandoned. No cameras, no witnesses. The inside is empty except for a single chair, metal, bolted to the concrete floor. They sit Vinny in the chair, zip-tie his wrists to the armrests, his ankles to the legs. Then they wait. At 3:15 a.m., Bumpy walks in. He's alone. No Illinois, no other men. Just him. He's wearing the same clothes he wore to the hospital. Gray suit, white shirt, no tie. The shirt has blood on it, from Mayme, from delivery. He crosses to where Vinny is sitting, stops 3 feet away, doesn't speak, just looks at him. Vinny is crying, snot running down his face, trying to form words, but they won't come. Bumpy waits. Finally, Vinny manages to speak. Please, I'm sorry. I didn't know who she was. I swear I didn't know. Bumpy says nothing. It was an accident. I didn't mean... You pushed her. Vinny stops, looks at Bumpy. You put your hands on my pregnant wife. You pushed her down concrete stairs. 4 stairs. That's all it took. 4 stairs, and my son is dead. I'm sorry. You're not sorry you did it. You're sorry she was my wife, and not just some random colored woman you could push around. No, if she wasn't my wife, if she was just some woman whose name you didn't know, you'd be at Gianni's bar right now, drinking, laughing about it. This colored woman got in my way, so I moved her. That's what you'd be saying. Vinny doesn't respond, because it's true. Bumpy steps closer. My wife asked me not to kill you. Do you know why? Vinny shakes his head. Because death is mercy. Death is easy. She doesn't want you to have easy. She wants you to suffer. She wants you to feel what she feels, helpless, unable to do anything, dependent on others for everything. Understanding starts to dawn on Vinny's face. So that's what you're going to become. You're going to be what you killed. A baby, unable to move, unable to feed yourself, unable to go to the bathroom by yourself for the rest of your life. Please, just kill me. Please. No. Bumpy turns to the door. Marcus Cole enters. He's carrying something wrapped in cloth. He sets it on the floor, unwraps it. A metal bar, 3 feet long, weighted at one end. He picks it up, tests the weight. You've done this before, Bumpy says. Not a question. Once, Korea, it worked. Show me where you'll hit him. Marcus walks behind Vinny's chair, points to the base of Vinny's skull. Here, C1 vertebra, where the spine meets the skull. You break it clean, the spinal cord severs. Everything below the neck stops working, but the brainstem stays intact. He can breathe, he can swallow, his heart beats, but he can't move anything else. Not his arms, not his legs, not his fingers, nothing. Will he be able to speak? Maybe. Depends on diaphragm control. It'll be weak. He'll whisper, but he'll know. He'll know what happened to him. He'll know every day for the rest of his life. Bumpy looks at Vinny. Last chance to beg. Vinny is hyperventilating, trying to pull his wrists free from the zip ties. They don't break. Please, I have money. My uncle has money. We'll pay you whatever you want. Please. I don't want your money. I want you broken. Bumpy nods at Marcus. Marcus positions himself, measures the distance, the angle. He raises the bar. Don't move. If you move, I might kill you by accident. Vinny is sobbing. Please. Marcus swings. The sound is bone on bone. A crack that echoes in the warehouse. Sharp. Final. Vinny screams. Then stops screaming. His mouth is open. His eyes are wide, but no sound comes out. Marcus steps back, watches. Vinny's hands are still on the armrests. He's trying to move them, trying to make fists, trying to pull free. Nothing moves. He looks down at his hands, stares at them, tries again. Nothing. His legs. He tries to move his legs, to stand, to kick. Nothing. Panic floods his face. His breathing gets faster, shallow, quick. He tries to scream again. It comes out as a whisper. I can't move. Marcus kneels in front of him, takes a small penlight from his pocket, shines it in Vinny's eyes. Both pupils respond normally. He touches Vinny's arm. No reaction. He pricks Vinny's hand with a pocket knife. Vinny doesn't flinch, doesn't pull away. Can you feel this? Vinny stares at his hand, at the small drop of blood forming where Marcus cut him. No. Marcus touches Vinny's face, his neck, above the break point. This? Yes. The break is clean, complete spinal cord severance at C1. He's quadriplegic, permanent. His face works, his voice works, barely, but everything below his neck is gone, forever. Bumpy looks at Vinny. Vinny looks back. His eyes are full of tears. He's trying to speak. It comes out as a whisper. Kill me. Please, just kill me. No, you live. You live and you remember every day, every hour, every minute, what you did, what it cost you, what it cost your family. Please, you're gonna wake up tomorrow in a hospital bed. You won't be able to move. You won't be able to feed yourself. Someone else will have to do everything for you. Change your clothes, wash you, feed you, wipe you when you soil yourself because you won't even be able to control that anymore. Vinny is crying, silent tears running down his face. And every day for the rest of your life, you're gonna wish I'd killed you, but I didn't because that's what my wife wanted. She wanted you to suffer, so you're gonna suffer. Bumpy turns to Marcus. Clean him up. Take him to Queen's General. Leave him in the emergency entrance. Boss, if we cut him loose, he can't move anyway. I know. Leave him in the chair. Let them find him like this. Let them see what happens to people who touch my family. Queen's General Hospital. Emergency entrance. The night security guard is doing his rounds when he sees the van, black, no plates, idling in the ambulance bay. He walks over to tell them they can't park there. The van drives away before he reaches it. On the ground, in the ambulance bay, is a metal chair with a man in it. The security guard gets closer, sees the man's face. He's conscious, eyes open, mouth moving. The guard kneels. Sir? Sir, can you hear me? The man's eyes focus on him. His mouth moves. No sound at first, then a whisper. Help me. The guard sees the zip ties, tries to pull them off. Too tight. I'll get help. Hold on. He runs inside, comes back with 2 nurses, an orderly. They wheel the chair inside. In the emergency room, under the lights, they see the note pinned to the man's shirt. Vincent Esposito, C1 spinal fracture, quadriplegic. This is justice. At 5:30 a.m., the on-call neurosurgeon, Dr. Kenneth Walsh, examines Vinny. X-rays confirm it. Complete fracture at C1. The spinal cord is severed. Clean break. Dr. Walsh has seen this kind of injury before. Car accidents, diving accidents, falls from great heights. He's never seen one this precise. Can you fix it? The nurse asks. Dr. Walsh looks at the X-ray for a long time. No. The spinal cord is severed. There's no surgery that can repair this. He's quadriplegic, permanent. He looks down at Vinny on the gurney. Vinny is staring at the ceiling, not blinking, not moving. How old is he? The nurse checks the chart. 28. 28. Dr. Walsh shakes his head. He could live another 60 years like this. At 6 a.m., they move Vinny to the ICU, hook him up to monitors, IV, catheter. At 6:15 a.m., the hospital calls the number listed in his wallet. Marco Esposito answers on the first ring. He hasn't slept. Mr. Esposito, this is Queen's General Hospital. Your nephew Vincent has been admitted. You should come right away. March 16th, 7 a.m. Marco Esposito walks into the ICU. He sees Vinny in the bed. Tubes, wires, monitors. Vinny's eyes are open. They follow Marco as he approaches. Marco sits in the chair next to the bed, doesn't speak. just looks at his nephew. Finally, "Can you move?" Vinny's mouth moves. The whisper is barely audible. "No." "Anything?" "No." Marco nods, like he expected this. "The doctor says it's permanent." Vinny's eyes fill with tears. "I'm sorry, Uncle Marco. I'm so sorry." Marco stands, looks down at him. "You cost us everything. The businesses are gone. Our reputation is destroyed. Your father's restaurant is closed. Your brother's trucks are ruined. And now we have to take care of you, feed you, bathe you, change you for the rest of your life. Please, you did this. You pushed that woman. You killed that baby. And now you're going to live with it every day, every hour for the next 60 years. Marco walks to the door, stops, doesn't turn around. "I warned you. I told you not to make enemies. You didn't listen. Now you'll have 60 years to think about what you should have done differently." He leaves. Vinny stares at the ceiling. He tries to move his fingers. Nothing. His toes. Nothing. He tries to scream. It comes out as a whisper. Nobody comes. March 17th. Vinny's mother, Maria, visits. She's 61 years old. She's been crying since Marco called her yesterday. She sits in the chair, takes Vinny's hand. His hand is warm, but doesn't squeeze back, doesn't move at all. "Vinny, my baby, what did they do to you?" Vinny looks at her, tries to speak. "I'm sorry, Mama." "Shh, don't talk. Save your strength." "I can't move, Mama. I can't feel anything." She starts crying again. A nurse enters. Time for Vinny's feeding. Maria watches as the nurse puts a tube down Vinny's throat, pumps liquid nutrition directly into his stomach. She watches as the nurse changes his catheter bag. She watches as the nurse turns him on his side to prevent bed sores. Vinny doesn't help. He can't. The nurse has to do everything. Maria can't watch anymore. She leaves. In the hallway, she leans against the wall and cries. March 25th. Vinny's father, Tony, visits. He doesn't sit, just stands at the foot of the bed. "The restaurant is closed. Health department found violations. It'll cost $50,000 to fix. We don't have $50,000 because we have to pay for you, your medical bills, your care, your wheelchair, your nursing home, everything." Vinny tries to speak. "Papa, You destroyed this family, you know that? 40 years building this business, 40 years, and you destroyed it in one afternoon because you couldn't keep your hands to yourself." Tony leaves, doesn't say goodbye. March 25th. They discharge Vinny from the hospital. He doesn't go home. He can't. The apartment has stairs, no elevator, no wheelchair access. They take him to a nursing facility in Queens. Medicaid facility, old building, 40 patients, 2 nurses on duty at a time. Vinny's room is shared, 3 other patients, all elderly, all dying. Vinny is 28 years old. The nurses come every 4 hours, feed him, change him, turn him to prevent sores. Between visits, Vinny stares at the ceiling. He can't change the channel on the TV mounted to the wall. Can't reach the call button if he needs help. Can't do anything. He lies there and waits. 1955. 3 years later. Vinny is 31 years old. He hasn't moved in 3 years. Not his arms, not his legs, not anything below his neck. He has a pressure sore on his lower back. The nurses try to prevent them by turning him every few hours, but it's not enough. The sore is infected. Smells like rot. He has pneumonia, again, his 4th time. Happens when you can't move. Fluid builds up in your lungs. You can't cough it out. It just sits there and festers. His father hasn't visited in 2 years. His mother comes every Sunday. She doesn't stay long. 10 minutes, 15 at most. She holds his hand, cries, leaves. Uncle Marco paid for the nursing home for the first year, then stopped, said the family couldn't afford it anymore. Now, Medicaid pays, the state. The nursing home gets $47 per day for Vinny's care. The nurses do their best, but they're overwhelmed. 40 patients, 2 nurses. You do the math. Vinny waits. 1960, 8 years later. Vinny is 36 years old. He's been transferred to a different facility. The first one closed, budget cuts. This one is worse. 6 patients to a room, 1 bathroom, 1 window. The man in the bed next to Vinny died last week. They haven't replaced him yet. The bed is empty. The smell hasn't left. Vinny's father died last year. Heart attack. The restaurant had closed 5 years ago. Tony never recovered from losing it. Vinny's mother is 70 years old. She can barely walk. She doesn't visit anymore. Can't afford the bus fare. Vinny's brother Sal moved to Florida in 1957. Hasn't called since. Uncle Marco is in federal prison. Racketeering charges. 20 years. Vinny is alone. Every day, a nurse he doesn't know feeds him, changes him, turns him. Every night, he stares at the ceiling and wishes he died on March 14th, 1952. But he didn't die. He's still alive. 1975. 23 years later. Vinny is 51 years old. He hasn't spoken in 6 years. His vocal cords still work. He just has nothing to say. His mother died in 1972, heart failure. She was 83. Nobody came to her funeral except a priest and 2 neighbors. Vinny didn't go, obviously. Nobody told him she died until 3 weeks later. A social worker came by to update his records, mentioned it in passing. "Oh, and I see your mother passed. My condolences." That's how Vinny found out. He's in his 4th nursing facility now. This one is in the Bronx, state-run, Medicaid only. The staff changes every few months. Nobody stays. The pay is terrible. The work is hard. Vinny doesn't know any of their names. They don't know his. To them, he's just the quad in room 7. The quad who's been here for years. The quad who never has visitors. The quad who will be here until he dies. 1990, 38 years later. Vinny is 66 years old. He's been paralyzed longer than he was able-bodied. He's been in nursing homes longer than he lived in his parents' apartment. He's forgotten what it feels like to move his hands. He dreams about walking sometimes. In the dreams, he's running, fast, free. He wakes up, staring at the ceiling. Still can't move. A new social worker visits. Young woman, fresh out of school, reviewing cases. She reads Vinny's file. "Says here you've been in the system since 1952. That's 38 years. Vinny doesn't respond. "It also says your injury was non-accidental. That's unusual. Most spinal injuries are accidents, car crashes, falls." She looks at him. "Do you want to talk about what happened?" Vinny's mouth moves. He hasn't spoken in 15 years. His voice is a whisper, barely audible. "I pushed a pregnant woman downstairs. She lost her baby. Her husband did this to me." The social worker writes something in her notes. "Well, I'm sorry that happened to you." Vinny almost laughs, would laugh if he could. She's sorry it happened to him, not sorry for what he did, sorry for what happened to him. She leaves. Vinny stares at the ceiling. 1995, 43 years later. Vinny is 67 years old. It's March, early morning, still dark outside. A nurse comes in for the 6 a.m. rounds, checking vitals. She checks the patient in bed 1. Fine. Bed 2. Fine. Bed 3. That's Vinny. She touches his wrist, checking his pulse. No pulse. She checks his neck. Nothing. She calls the doctor on duty. The doctor pronounces Vincent Esposito dead at 6:17 a.m., March 14th, 1995. Exactly 43 years after he pushed Mayme Johnson down 4 concrete steps. Cause of death? Respiratory failure, pneumonia, complications from quadriplegia. There's no next of kin listed in his file. No funeral is arranged. The state buries him in a potter's field on Hart Island. No marker, no headstone, just a plot number in a ledger, 6,891. That's Vincent Esposito's legacy, a number in a ledger. Mayme Johnson, 2007. Mayme is 86 years old. She's writing a memoir, working with a journalist, young woman interested in Harlem history. They're sitting in Mayme's apartment on 141st Street, same apartment she's lived in since 1949. The journalist asks about Bumpy, about his death in 1968, about Mayme's life after. Then she asks, "Is it true about the Italian mobster, the one who pushed you?" Mayme is quiet for a long time. Yes. What happened to him? He lived. But the stories say he lived for 43 years, paralyzed, in nursing homes, alone. He outlived his parents, his brother, everyone. He lived to be 67 years old. That's worse than death. Mayme looks at the journalist. That was the point. Did you ever regret it? Asking Bumpy not to kill him? Mayme considers this. No. Death would have been mercy. He didn't deserve mercy. He deserved to live with what he did. And he did, every day, every hour, for 43 years. Did you ever think about him? Every day, for 43 years. The journalist doesn't know what to say to that. Mayme continues. People think revenge is about violence, about blood. But the truest revenge is time, making someone live with their mistakes, making them feel it every day. That's what we gave him, time. Do you think he suffered enough? Mayme looks out the window, at Harlem, at the streets she's walked for 60 years. No amount of suffering brings back my son, William Marcus. He never took a breath, never had a chance. But yes, Vinny suffered. That's something. William Marcus Johnson, Woodlawn Cemetery, Section 15, Plot 247. 3 headstones. The first, Ellsworth Bumpy Johnson, 1905 to 1968, Harlem's protector. The second, Mayme Hatcher Johnson, 1921 to 2009. She survived. She thrived, she protected. The third, smaller, between them, William Marcus Johnson, born March 14, 1952, died March 14, 1952. Forever loved, never forgotten. Every year on March 14th, someone puts flowers on William Marcus's grave. Nobody knows who, but the flowers are always fresh, always there. For 70 years. March 14, 1952. 4 concrete steps, 1 push, 1 baby dead. 43 years of suffering. That's the story. Not a story about revenge, a story about justice. The kind of justice that doesn't end with a bullet, the kind that lasts decades, the kind that makes you wish for death every single day and never gives it to you. Vincent Esposito pushed a pregnant woman. He killed a baby, and he paid for it, not with his life, with every day he lived after. 6,891 days. That's how long Vincent Esposito suffered. That's how long Mayme Johnson made sure he remembered. 4 concrete steps. That's all it took to change everything. The blood on those steps dried decades ago, but the consequences never did. If this story moved you, remember, justice isn't always swift, but it's always final. Subscribe for more untold stories from Harlem's history. See you next time.